let The Rock get this straight. You invited The Rock, the World Wrestling Federation champion, to speak at the Republican National Convention?
Oh, The Rock is a Republican. We are fighting two proxy wars. We're currently fighting against inflation. We currently have the Republicans going to war with the Democrats and the Democrats going to war with the Republicans that can likely really lead to a civil war. Black people fighting against white people fighting against black people. This country's gotten so divisive. With all these topics on hand, I made the executive decision to find the least important topic I can think of. Dwayne Johnson being a closeted Republican.
If The Rock didn't know any better, he'd say you might be trying to reach out to all The Rock's fans, the 14 million eligible voters who watch The Rock every single week. Well, if that's the case, then The Rock has two words for you. Thank you.
The Rock. All right, here we go. That was a lazy joke. The Rock, aka Dwayne Johnson, has had a hell of a Hollywood run for the better part of 2 decades. But now here we are as The Rock somehow went into a direction I don't think any of us really expected. He went from the most boring wrestler to the most hated wrestler to the most electrifying man in sports entertainment to transitioning to a big screen in the most controversial role he has ever played, a bad CGI scorpion. He got another opportunity to make himself look ridiculous by donning a bad wig, making a constipated face on the poster, and delivering god-awful performance for his very first lead role. But there is no stopping The Rock. Still not a good joke. Dwayne went ahead and took some acting classes and starred in his second movie, which I honestly believe was the make it or break it opportunity for him. That movie was called The Rundown, and it was a solid movie. To this day, it's possibly one of my favorite movies of his. He then proceeded to act in at least one movie a year until now. He played a fairy not in one, but 2 movies, Tooth Fairy and Be Cool. Like that. He starred in an anticipated Doom movie, which reminded us all of why you shouldn't make any video game movies. Just guys to stop, let it go. He starred in a solid fun football movie called The Gridiron Gang. He jumped into kids genre for a while, put some weight back on, and played in this revenge flick called Faster, another underrated film of his. Then he tried the drama route with a small film called Snitch that I don't think anyone watched, but I did and I loved it. And then he joined the cast of the invincible paramilitary superheroes that drive really fast cars. Yep, he joined the Fast and the Furious crew, immediately lifting up the franchise. Y'all might be too young to remember, but the Fast and Furious franchise was falling off for a while until fast forward when the original crew came back and reprised their roles, but then they stepped it up another level once they brought on The Rock in the Fast and Furious 5, which honestly is my favorite one. Which one's your favorite one? Then he began being the sequel guy before transforming into what we see now for the movie Pain and Gain. Another movie I really enjoyed, but many people seem to hate. However, let's talk about that body. I mean, my God, he got so big for that movie. I mean, look at those biceps, that chest, the traps. What is wrong with me? Guys, people, I'm married. I'm totally straight. Please get the gayness out of me. From there, The Rock has been killing it, taking every single generic script you can think of and he would star in it, making it instantly better because of The Rock's charisma. Except Empire State, not sure what happened with that dog shit of a movie, but it went straight to the $5 Walmart movie bin. Then Jumanji remake came out, and I was a little fearful at first because I really enjoyed the Jumanji movie, but surprisingly, it was a good movie. The guy has been on a roll like a rock. He didn't become an actor, he became a megastar, and then in 2020, he took on the most challenging role to date, playing a libtard.
Hey, DJ.
Hey.
Hi.
Our administration, DJ, is going to look like America. It's going to be representative of all of America.
Absolutely, Kamala. How do you feel? How do we earn it? How do we earn it with our own two hands?
Well, you know, to your point, DJ,
One eternity later.
So I figured let's kick this conversation off this way by me officially publicly endorsing you both to become president and vice president of our great country.
Yeah, this one was a strange move knowing how careful DJ has been over his career. I mean, he is the epitome of everything the libs hate. He is a straight man, doesn't identify as black, made a ton of funny jokes in WWE that would now be considered homophobic, sexist, racist, and so on. He likes being physically fit, he's filthy rich, he has a strong work ethic, he hates lazy crybabies, and he believes in accountability. He believes in a traditional family, married a white woman, believes in capitalism and drives a V8, lifts weights and finagled his way into being the board member of a Fortune 500 company and has legally got his stage name back from the WWE. This guy is literally everything the libs hate. So it's a bit of a shocker to see him endorse Biden and Harris during the 2020 election and seemingly went quiet after. But then Trump did something, I'm not sure what he did, maybe grabbed a pussy or two, I don't know.
Grab him by the pussy.
And I'm not gonna look it up, okay? Remember, this is a fluff piece, mostly for all my new subs that came from the Vince McMahon scandal video I did. Thank you, honestly, I really appreciate it. You guys got me monetized. But whatever Trump did, it pissed off The Rock and he dropped this strange, uncomfortable audition tape to be president.
Where are you? Where is our leader? Where are you? Thank you. We love you. Look, I am like...
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
So all of a sudden it was clear to me, was he thinking about running for president? You see, I didn't observe the obvious signs everywhere. So it all made sense. Everything was very calculated with The Rock. Plus, we were in the middle of a pandemic where, like I said, many people were locked in their homes for months, scared to leave the house, yelling at people like me for not wearing a mask inside of my house. During that time, I remember The Rock being this likable, inspirational guy sharing his privileged life on Instagram. But instead of getting hate like most lifestyle influencers do, people embraced him even more. Hell, even when the libs tried to go after Joe Rogan and cancel him for a refusal to lockstep, Dwayne swooped in and gave him an encouraging message to Rogan that all of a sudden made headlines.
I'm not trying to promote misinformation. I'm not trying to be controversial.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is expressing support for Spotify podcaster Joe Rogan as the White House calls on big tech to crack down on misinformation.
See, that impressed me because I immediately knew that he was going to get some backlash from the mob. Again, let me remind you, this was during the pandemic. The woke were slaying people left and right. If you were an actor or a musician or a comedian, best believe they were coming after you.
Wasn't calling any black people the N-word. God, I mean, like, why are people... Well, I'll tell you why. They don't care. They actually don't care about the context. Dear Dr. Winslow, thank you so much for this. I hear you as well as everyone here 100%. I was not aware of his N-word use prior to my comment, but now I've become educated to his complete narrative. Learning moment for me. Mahalo, brother, and have a great and productive weekend.
Shut your bitch ass up!
He subsequently dropped a blockbuster flop Black Adam, which I actually enjoyed with my son, but he refused to take the L. Then stories started coming out about how he was trying to do this hostile takeover of the DCU and tried making these backdoor deals that pissed off a bunch of Hollywood people. I'm sure all of that was most likely half truth and half gossip. And fire broke out in Hawaii and caused some massive devastation. The government didn't care, so The Rock teamed up with Oprah to raise some funds for Hawaii, and that backfired, I guess, because, you know, you can't be rich and ask people for money. You know, especially to try to fix a tragedy. You're rich, you're supposed to pay for fucking everything.
Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they're dealing with some backlash concerning the charity that the pair started to benefit the people of Maui.
Last Thursday, Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson launched the People's Fund of Maui, asking people to donate the money to help those affected by the tragic wildfires. They started the campaign with $10 million, but The posts are receiving some major backlash on Instagram and on TikTok, with people criticizing the wealthy pair for asking fans to donate. Commenters say that the pair could donate all the money needed and make it all back within a year.
It's like everybody hates millionaires, but they want to be a millionaire. It just doesn't make sense. Then whispers started to hit the wave again about him running for president. He sat down with probably the most unfunniest half-breed I've ever seen on TV.
It just started to feel really noisy, and I wanted to make sure that we just paused, and I was just waiting for, well, where's the criticism here that is worthy of my attention, that really makes sense, and then, that's it.
I'm sorry, man. I think I'm funnier than Trevor Noah. I'm sorry. Look, watch. Check this joke out. What's the difference between a cookie and a They're gonna edit that out, aren't they? Yeah, whatever. Okay. God, I miss the 90s. Make America great again. So The Rock started showing up on these morning shows and afternoon talk shows, and he finally sat down with the most anticipated Rogan episode ever.
And we're up. What's happening?
Oh, man.
How fun was that?
Oh, that was a blast.
We had a good day.
Dude, that was 3 hours.
And he disappointed all of us.
Not personal. I'm gonna kill myself! Wow. I'm going to kill myself, and it's your fault!
You got nothing out of the interview that you didn't already hear before. And anytime Rogan asked The Rock about anything political, DJ acted oblivious and ignorant to the topics on hand.
Palestine and Israel is a great example.
Yeah.
Because the tension is so heightened. And anything you say on one side or the other, people will attack you on.
You said, yes, and I want to get to that in a second, because I was thinking about that today, is everything you said, absolutely. This part of it is devastating. This is devastating. This side. The 240 hostages that still haven't come home yet. But also, where does it go?
Right, where does it go?
And the only reason we were even interested in his political affiliation was because he was doing this publicity tour. He wasn't selling a book. There wasn't a movie coming out. So why the hell was he doing this? Because I think he was really thinking about running. And then that was pretty much it. It seemed like it was a very uncomfortable interview. Like, I don't know, it was just really awkward. It seemed like Joe Rogan maybe had like a gag order, like you can't ask The Rock this, and that, and The Rock, don't ask me anything that's gonna be divisive. Please don't put me on the spot, and please don't ask me about steroids. And he didn't. He didn't ask about steroids. He didn't ask him any really tough questions. It was just a very boring interview.
As I'm editing, I also realized I never mentioned that in the Rogan interview, they also never addressed the whole Twitter beef or situation. Like, it was never brought up, like it never happened.
I love listening to Joe Rogan, and I love seeing what The Rock has accomplished and the image that he portrays. I think it's positive, but that interview was just a waste. Why didn't Rogan ask him if he was on steroids? I know it doesn't really matter, but you know, we all were kind of curious. We just want to know his answer, you know? It's kind of like the Liver King. Like, we all knew he was on steroids, but we just want to know if he was going to admit to it, you know? Like I said, we're Americans. It's first world problems. Honestly, I think I would have rather listened to the Obama audiobook. 24 hours? Really, dude? Like, how much more do you have to talk about? You already released 2 other books previously. We did learn a few things that has led people to believe that The Rock is a Republican.
As much as it is just get out there and exercise your right to vote, get out there and register to vote, and you know, in the voting booth, whether you're the billionaire or whether you're the garbage man, you're equal and your vote does count.
Not that one. That's old footage.
When I was a kid, you could have a Republican friend. Like, it was no big deal.
Yes.
It's no big deal. Like, oh, Bobby likes George Bush. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? You know, you were a supporter of Bill Clinton. He liked George Bush. Nobody cared. Nobody, like, fuck you. You know, it wasn't like, you're a Nazi. Like, I'm a Nazi. I just want lower taxes.
What the fuck are you talking about?
How did I become a Nazi?
Dude, it's the craziest thing. I have friends who support Trump. I have friends who support Biden. I have friends.
Do you really have friends who support Biden?
I do.
Come on.
No. Here's what I do. I have friends. Thank you. That's a good check, because that's important. This is important context.
They support the Democratic Party.
I have friends who are loyal to the party.
Yes.
Seeing that nobody really wants to see Trump versus Biden again, and I definitely don't want to get another 4 years of Weekend at Bernie's, and because Biden has lost so much support, I wonder if The Rock was going to initially run as a liberal, since it clearly doesn't like Trump. Or maybe he believes he could do a better job as an entertainment president than Trump. and was thinking of perhaps running as a Republican, and went on Joe Rogan to kind of, feel the temperature.
Take care of our own.
Take care of our own.
First.
Yeah, I mean, what are we if we're not a country? If we're not
It's the same thing with family.
Yes.
Right? Like you would take care of your family first. I take care of my family first.
Yes.
Take care of our American people.
It's a community. We should be a community.
Yeah.
All we know is that after the Joe Rogan interview, he stopped talking about being president and made a random appearance at the Pentagon.
I love you back.
That's a Republican thing, by the way, and I'm not sure what that was all about. Maybe it had to do with the lack of support that Hawaii was getting. Actually, never mind. Hawaii won't pay any dividends in years to come, so who cares about them, right?
To fund America's national security needs, to support our critical partners, including Israel and Ukraine, is a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations.
Look, clearly I like The Rock. We're both half-breeds, we both have wrestled, we both have acted, we both are bald, both are high-value men, both are on steroids. We literally almost are like brothers. We are kind of like brothers. One is just more successful than the other. But if I take your face. Anyways, he did an interview and then he became the board member of TKO and went back to wrestling as a bad guy. And damn it, wow, watching wrestling is fun again.
You broke the all-time record for the largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen.
So what are your thoughts? Do you even care whether or not The Rock is a Republican or liberal, or do you think he's gonna actually run? What's your favorite Rock movie? I am actually curious about that. Let me know. So subscribe if you like sarcasm and facetious humor covering politics and pop culture while bringing factual information and opinion pieces. You never know, I might actually grow on you like Candace Owens grew on me.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Sorry, I don't have much of a voice. I just could not shut off yesterday. But today I'm...
Yeah, she won't find that funny. She's a married conservative woman. And my wife won't find that funny either because, she's Hispanic. Not a migrant.